Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle Desrochers and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of the Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing folks over at Folgers Coffee, who have been with us from day one. Thank you, Folgers. Would not be the same without you. Big thank you also to Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, aka Justin Snicker, for his contribution of his intro and outro for our show. Anyone interested in getting Justin's music can find it anywhere that you can find good music, such as Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. He is an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music. Oh, God, who doesn't love that stuff? I certainly love that stuff. Anyway, tonight we welcome for the very first time Katherine O'Shea, and she's going to be discussing animal communication. So we've had a lot of people asking about this, and here it is. She just sort of came and fell onto our lap and was like, yay. Actually, she was recommended. So we're really pleased to have her here. In order to participate in the show tonight, guys, you're going to have to head over to the usual spots, which, let me have a look. Facebook is Joe Montaldo, UFO Undercover. And we've got the Outer Realm, of course. News on the flip side, UFO Paranormal Radio, United Public Radio, Canada's Most Haunted, Michelle Desrochers. And on YouTube, we've got moi at the Outer Realm Radio, which is, my account there, and UFO Paranormal Radio as well. And for those who are on Twitter following along, please go and look for, I believe it's also United Public Radio is the name of the account that this is streaming on. So you can go and find it there. And everybody's tuning in. We've got Dolly, Janie, Bubbles is in the house. As you see, she's not with us, but she's on the tail end of all this. So she'll be in chat kind of bouncing around, and we'll post her questions up so everybody can still comment. And just like she's like really here, just not on screen. But she is with us. And Wayne is here. Janie's here. Yeah, just making my way through. It's coming in. Now, Katherine it sounds like she's really interesting. She doesn't seem, she seems to really add a lot to her animal communications. Short bio, she's always connected to animals in a deeply intuitive way. As a child, she could see animals in spirit and hear the ones on earth. As an adult, this ability to communicate with animals went to the next level when a health condition put her on a spiritual healing path. Katherine has spent a decade opening her spiritual her spiritual channels to connect to the animals all over the world on the soul level to channel their love, wisdom, messages, what they need or want to share. She combines animal communication and tools as a healing practitioner to create positive shifts and upliftment, in the vibrational field for animals and their humans' emotional and physical health, relationships, and more. It is her life's work and passion to serve and support as many animals as possible with this work. I think that's just like amazing. I've had a lot of, I won't say a lot, I've had a couple of animal readings that really surprised me. Some people figure right off the bat, oh, that's not a thing. Well, I can assure you it's a thing. I know it's subjective. Anybody who works with animals will say, oh, no, you can tell by looking at an animal and looking at behaviors. But I'll tell you, the ones that I have had have seen things from a photo without even knowing the names, really getting insight, because I've always done a lot of animal rescues, and it's been amazing the things that they have picked up and hit like bang on. So they have stories, their souls that come into this life, other lives, and they choose to come back as that. They're not all just like animal spirits. I now, don't get me wrong, I've seen animal spirits who have been grounded who are still animal spirits. But I think once, you can move them on, and if they choose to come back and show themselves to you that way, I believe that's just their choice. Again, free choice, free will. I don't know. I'm anxious to sort of find out what Catherine has to say about all this. We're just waiting for her to come in. And hey, Melissa, I know you're going to love this, Mel, because Mel does also a lot of fostering and such. And I think that's going to be really cool to see what some of these pets have been for. I'd like personally have found it just a wealth of information, especially dealing with fosters and dealing with rescues. You just don't know what their story is. You don't know where they've been, what they've been through. It's really sad. So we should be live on our group page. Yes, actually. Amelia, we better be live on our group page. Let me go in and see this because I'm just checking our group page, people, because it's in there. So hold on. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to, for some reason, it's just doing one of these. Circling. So I was better to say, Bubbles is down. Okay, let's just see if we are live on the group page. Yes, we are live on the group page. Just check. There it is. Absolutely. So again, as we wait for her to come in, anybody have any questions that you want to chime into already? I would suggest starting to get them in. Hello, Cynthia. How's it going? So nice to see. I'm seeing names that I haven't seen here in like a long time. So it's always nice to see that. Now, I did post her website on the group page as well. So anybody who's interested in what she does or contacting her perhaps to get a reading for your little fur baby and figure out what they like about you or maybe don't like about you. Hello, Jean. Actually, it's pet communication. And she deals with a lot of blessings and it's like communicating with your animals or all animals, not just pets. Animals, like basically large scale for her. Any animal on the planet, she says she can tap into. So I think it'll be kind of cool. So hopefully we'll get her. Oh, how are the raccoons? Speaking of animals, yes, Bubbles. I think Wayne's still fighting with the raccoons. We have raccoons and babies in the attic, so that's a whole other adventure. And yeah, we'll just leave that right there. It's not necessarily a pleasant adventure. So as Wayne says, can you ask Catherine if she knows anything about the raccoon in the attic and how do I move her on safely? Yeah, well, and she's really one smart raccoon too. Like she just will not take. We put good food up there. It's like chicken sautéed and just beautiful, and she just won't go for it. She just kind of puts her hand through the humane cage, pulls everything out, and she will not go inside. Hello, Trish. I know animals have souls, but many have said they are all human. People that are animals in the next life, etc. I think it's very possible that, I mean, if, we fall under that whole free will thing, and I believe the Buddhists believe that as well, that you can come back basically to be anything or come back in any point that you want. Why not? Right? This is sort of just a vessel that drives us or that we walk around in. We're all beings of light having a human experience. So, or not even necessarily having, I'd like to, maybe you should switch that up and say a physical experience. Hey, Tamara, maybe that's what it's all about, is just having this human experience. And, or again, here I am blapping it off again, but having this physical experience. So how do we know realistically what's what? I don't know. All right. Hopefully, this did go through. So now we're just going to wait and see. She should be catching the link soon. This is around the time we usually start. So it catches people off guard when we start on time. And the reason we always put it a few minutes late is because we usually have shows that come on before us and we need to get them moved on, and if they run a few minutes late, we just like to make sure that everything rolls nice and smoothly. So with that being said, tonight was on time because there was no show before us, right? It's just awesome. So this is good. But as far as, yeah, I don't know, Trish, I think that's a great question. I'm going to leave it up here for now, and I'm going to actually write it down because I'd like to come back and ask her about that, because she claims, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at her website, that she can connect to the Akashic records for animals and your pets. So that's almost like, like you would read with a normal person, like with a regular individual, human, So if that's the case and they have these paths and everything else, then that tells me that they're just souls like human souls. They're just energy. So I suppose it could be anything they want. So let me see. Bubba's got a whole other conversation going on here. I'm just trying to keep up. Oh, I see. It was way up at the top there. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes, okay. My goodness. So hopefully Bubbles is going to be back next week. Hopefully she'll be done and with all of this, trying to get some wind back in her sails and stop hacking, because that's not, definitely does not help if you're trying to speak. Oh my God. I wish you guys could see the chat. It's just so funny. All right. So again, we wait. So, okay, here we go for everybody. I've heard that life and souls, it's a profession. So animals can evolve into human, and humans will have had a bad life before a good one. No downgrading. Progression. Okay. I heard that life and souls, it's a progression. So animals can evolve into human, and humans will, who have had, I guess, a bad life before a good one. No downgrading. Am I getting that right? Okay. I think I think, again, it depends. And I can't see animals going back. I don't know. I mean, they don't harm on purpose. I mean, they're victims of their owners, or they're basically, they kill to survive. I don't know. That's just my own personal thought with all of it. But again, I'm looking forward to her insight on this. I mean, when you look at, again, her bio, I love how she channels them. She works on the soul level to channel the love of an animal, the wisdom of an animal, messages, what they need or want to share. Hey, Michael, I know that I was gifted with a pet spirit reading quite a few years ago now. And I had 3 out of 4 of my little chihuahuas, were rescues. And one of them had just been through hell and back. It was terrible what she had been through. As if she wasn't small enough. She had really bad teeth, and all she was ever given was this big chunks of hard kibble. And it was just horrible what she was put through. Her body it was starting to eat its own muscle mass. It was just horrific. And she had this lump on the back of her neck. She was just a little bit deformed and a little bit crooked, and it was really, really sad. So all I did was send a photo of the 4 girls together, the 4 dogs together. You couldn't see. She was just sitting. You really could not see how rough she was, really. And right away, she said to me, one of the first things she said to me, which validated it for me, she goes, she was a blue chihuahua, so grayish blue. And she said, the little blue gray chihuahua has a lump on the back of her neck. And she says it feels really good when you rub the back of her neck. And she feels really safe. And I thought, oh my gosh, like there's no way she could know that. It's just not typical stuff that somebody would know. In one of our other little chihuahuas, she was just, not, I don't know if she was loved or not. The people who I got her from didn't even think anything about just handing her off, as it was just like there was no love being exchanged, no little kisses, no little anything. Hi, Derek. And she ended up having severe separation anxiety after that. I mean, for a few years. And again, this medium picked up on it. She goes, really bad separation anxiety. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like, what do you do with something like that? It was so hard to bring her out of that. When we did, she turned into a little beggar. She was just like after everything, causing all kinds of havoc with the other ones. Hi, Lisa. And of course, then there was the one who was not a rescue, who I got from the time she was like a tiny little puppy. She's the only one that out of the ones I had who had come from a breeder. And I went to find out afterwards that she did come from a puppy mill eventually. She had all kinds of health issues, but she really did think she was the be all and end all. And the medium basically saw her and she goes, the little chocolate one has this like superiority complex. She thinks she's the center of the universe. But I spoiled her so bad. I actually sat there and went, yeah, okay. I mean, she's not. It's like the dog had me trained. So, um, you know, but the thing is she picked their personalities perfectly. And the tiniest one was, you know, she was the second one that I had owned, and she basically she was the matriarch, and she carried that weight with her and took it upon herself to basically, make sure that all her humans were safe and that everybody, all the pups were safe. And it was a really big load on her. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's something we don't think about. And this dog was like maybe 2 pounds and she had a huge personality, but she really ended up getting like a little bit of anxiety just because of the fact that she was the one, that carried all of it. And you look at when they're so tiny and they look up at the world and you just, you think, God, we must look like giants to them. And this little girl, like, she didn't care, she did try to take you on, shine you on, no problem. But yes, yes, they do have superiority complex. But I think, from the most part, it's just a matter of she was very just on top of everything. And this medium picked up that she had this really big weight on her. And I thought, oh my God, this is terrible. But it was good to know because I moved forward and I really worked hard at trying to, with her, alleviate that weight so she didn't have to feel all that weight herself. And I watched this over the years with the dogs because those had come to pass and I ended up with others, and I watched the matriarch role change from dog to dog. It went down to the next one would pass. And when my chocolate one got really sick, one of the other ones she just all of a sudden her personality changed, and she would stay up at night and watch her. And she just, if anything happened, like she would bark, she would let me know. And she stopped breathing one time. And this little dog at the time didn't bark a whole lot. All of a sudden started barking frantically, and it was not a normal bark. And I knew that there was something wrong. And I just watched all these roles changing, and it was just fascinating to me that these little animals were so like they're complex, but they're not. It was just insane. Great, I am on. Thank you. Oh no, you're not on. Let me try to do this again. I'm gonna send this one here. Sorry guys. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, our guest is just messaging me. Yeah. Try this one. So we as people, I don't think we really get the gist of how they work. And I think if you have somebody that can successfully and properly, who's really legitimate, communicate with animals to tell you, look, this is what you're doing wrong, or maybe this is what you need to be doing, or this is what your pet is feeling. They're not feeling well, or they don't like it when you do this. It really helped like our family a lot to have an idea what these little beings were like. Amelia, I honestly believe all animals have a soul. 100%. 100%. I mean, come on, we see them running around. Come on, you still see Peter running around. It's just, I think that's, if you have the opportunity, I say do it, because I think the relationship you would have with your pet is so different. So different. And it really was different for us. Oh, and here she is. Bam. Hi, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm
Oh,
good.
God.
I was just sitting all lonesome on a
I
link.
don't know what was up with that link. I'm like, why are you not coming on? So let's let me do a refresh and send it again. And oh my gosh, the comments have already been coming in.
Awesome. Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, we'll get to them for sure. Absolutely. So Amelia is usually with me, but she's just getting over a COVID spell, so she is in chat. There we go. There
Hi,
is Amelia.
Amelia.
So
Sending
she'll
you
put
lots of
her
healing
comments. Comments or question, I'll post them up. When you see that, that is Amelia. So, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. You know, it's so funny. Right before, like an hour before we were going to meet, my power went out. I'm like,
Oh,
so
that's not good. That's not
yeah.
good.
So I grabbed my little doggy and we headed to a
Oh,
place we could
the
connect. So this
baby.
is my little doggy, Mr. Ping, for those of you who can see him.
I know
Yeah, I'm
he's
great.
side eyeing us. He's like, "What is this about?" He's
Just
got that
resting.
little side angle going on. That's hilarious. We were actually just talking about, while we were reading for you, animals and their personalities, and how I found it beneficial to have a reading. I was gifted with a reading a few years back. With I always have Chihuahuas of two, and you know
Like
how the
more on the
Chihuahuas
side.
are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be real a-holes if you don't give them what they want. Like mine have always been very, I'm the boss in this house. I'm just like, wow. So I say that word literally because I've had experiences with them where they completely want to take over. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? so so I was gifted with a reading and nailed it to the point where I'm like, oh, I get it now. Okay. So it really gave me an understanding of all four of them, all these little personalities. And because I've dealt with rescues and not knowing their background, once I had an idea of this is what we like and don't do that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just failing miserably as a pet mom. So it
But
really
how would
helped.
you know? You know, this is why it's so helpful to be able to
Yes.
access that information and know, like,
Yes.
really what the truth of it is. Like, oh, because we can perceive it we can humanize it and perceive it from our humanness. But
Yes.
um,
It was just a lesson learned. I had one that I'm sure she would just go around and she would side eye and she'd just give you one of these like this and be like, it's like to a friend of mine. He's just like, did she just like give me what's up? One of those sort of looks. I'm thinking, I think she may have. I have no explanation. She thinks she's a real people. So it's just, but that's for the love of our fur babies. But why don't you, how does, I mean, obviously you're gifted and you communicate with animals, I imagine the same as people, or do you just communicate with them a little bit differently? Like how, tell me what it was like to be little Catherine with all of these abilities. And yeah, well, how did little Catherine handle all this?
well, you know, when you're little, like you see the little kid, right, spinning around at the grocery store,
Right,
like just in their complete own
right,
existence and embodiment. I think that's pretty much how I was. Like I get asked that question a lot, and I think it's a
right.
cool question. And when I think about it, it's not until after I become an adult and tapped back into this and developed it even more, and it came through really strongly. Um, did I start to realize actually what was happening for me when I
Uh-oh.
was a child, because it was just a part of who I was. So I never really tried to share it or explain it, or I was like a really in my own world kid.
Right,
I think my channels were very open and
right.
I could see animal spirits. But they were, I thought they were like imaginary friends because that's what we get told.
Right.
They had specific names, and I had a Cocker Spaniel who used to visit me all the time. His name was Patrick. I had a basket full of kittens that like always stayed kittens.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and I think I more experienced it as just like this really calming, deep connection for myself. So I think I would just intuitively kind of know what they needed or wanted. And, animals are always drawn to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't get overly excited about them, really. I loved them. But even the tiny little ants, and, I was lucky enough to grow up in Colorado, and we had like deer and coyotes and hawks, which I was obsessed with, and snakes, even like in our house sometimes.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I love snakes so much. My mom felt a little differently because they were like in her home, and and I got
Yeah,
to
that would
like
not be
bunnies and
good.
birds and dogs, and yeah. So,
Right.
and
Right.
I
Like Noah's Ark in your house.
yeah, I'm thinking about it, kinda, yeah. And people always ask me to take care of their animals, even at a young age, and I just
Right.
figured that's just what people do. Like,
Right.
you just take care of your neighbor's animals when you're a kid, which I think is true.
I've
Um,
I've done it, but I'm sure they didn't communicate with me the same way your neighbor's animals communicated with you. We want a steak tonight, and we're going to put this on order. And
right,
you
and it'd
know,
be like one of those things where, like, I think they need to go outside when,
right,
and or I think they need this, and they're just like, "Oh, how did you know that?" kind of thing.
right, right.
But it wasn't until I had some physical health stuff that happened for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
so I did the Western medicine thing. I was really young, also I was in my 20s, but then my soul, right, my like inner was just like, there's more healing to do than just this. And so I kind of went on a quest to like figure out what that was, and I literally tried everything, and well, not everything, everything of light, and lots of things helped me.
Right.
But then when I moved to Hawaii, within 2 weeks notice, I was just like, I'm moving to Hawaii. So I moved, and I found this self-healing, this ancient wisdom. I started studying healing in Hawaii, and that's when this ability opened up, like
Right.
in a noticeable way for me. And then I was
Wow.
like hearing animals, and they would
Wow.
give me numbers. That's like the number one thing that happens when I meet an
Mm-hmm.
animal or I connect to someone who has an animal. Most of the time, I receive a number, and I see it and I hear it, and usually that's what age they are. Um,
Okay. I was
or
going to say, what's the relevance of the numbers? But
well,
that, yeah.
I kind of have to figure it out. So
Yeah,
usually
it's not the lottery, people. Don't you? So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Right.
I may start it off by asking like, "How old's your dog?" To see like what the number was.
Right.
Sometimes it's how old they are. Sometimes it's how long they've been with the person. Sometimes it's
Right.
how old they were when the person got them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
something relevant to them, I guess, right?
yeah,
It's just
and it's
yeah,
just like that's like the confirmation. And I
right,
guess I've heard of that where other mediums and stuff talk about how they get like a confirmation. That's what my
right.
confirmation is.
Yeah,
I've guessed a few
it's
times like,
interesting to
"Oh."
me because we know our pets, so we think. I thought I knew everything about my pets. I was like, boy, was I wrong. But it seems so surreal, to think that they're like, when the messages were relayed to me, it's like they're little people. Well, they don't like it when you do this. This one doesn't like it when you do that, and you're not paying enough attention when this one wants this. I'm just going, oh, I have 3 children. Wait a minute. You mean there's 4 more? Because it really felt that way. Like the personalities, are just like amazing. And it's not just, dogs or cats. I mean, I've experienced that with wolves and other animals that have crossed my path. They look at you and you just seem to know with some things, but obviously not that many. Amelia said, my fur baby's a toddler. Yes. Yes. Yes, he is.
What fur baby do you have, Amelia?
Oh, yeah, Amelia, let's talk about Versace, the old soul. No, he rules the
Oh,
household.
yeah.
He does rule the household. So you basically you realized early on that you had these abilities, and when did you decide, oh, it's exactly how we feel. Fortunately allows us to live here. That's exactly it, right? So hi Katrina, just rolling in. So at which point then, let's fast forward in, you decide, okay, I'm really good at this and I can connect on a deeper level. So why don't you just carry us, move us on
Yes.
from there?
You know, it's so interesting because how it unfolded for me is I just started receiving the messages, but I still didn't really realize it was like a thing.
Right.
So, and I was studying spiritual healing and I was meditating a lot and I was
Mm,
gathering with other people who were doing the same thing. It wasn't under a specific religion or anything. It was just all
mhm,
in love and, using these ancient Chinese like ways to heal ourselves and everything.
mhm.
And I would share, we had like we do like where we'd focus on the pets and they would do pet workshops and stuff at this healing center I went to, meditation center. And I just would get tons of messages. And then when I would share them, everybody would be like, you know,
which
I was
brings
just like,
which brings me to Mia's questions. How do the messages come to you?
yeah, I can share that too. So I had a lot of resistance around it, to be completely honest with you.
Right.
Let me plug in my computer. I had a lot of resistance around it because I was a cancer survivor. I was learning all these healing techniques. I wanted to like save the world. I had this whole idea of like how I was going to bring what I had experienced to humanity and help heal people and all this stuff. And it was like, no, you're going to work with the vets. It's all one, right? I realize that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you do learn something about your pet or when you do experience that deeper connection that you don't think it can get any deeper, there's something that happens for you. There's something that opens, something that happens. So yeah, I actually got a reading from someone who I trusted very deeply. And they said, because I was doing communication with holy beings and I can channel a lot of things, but really my highest potential was with the animals. So,
Right.
meaning I had already developed that ability in a bigger way than the other stuff was developed. So that
Mhm,
could be if you connect to like, if you're open to the idea of past lives,
mhm.
and different things that our soul takes with us from lifetime to lifetime, just like your dogs, like who knows what wisdom they carry, like
Oh my god.
this is where the personalities come from and what they
Mm,
like and dislike, and maybe it's
mm.
from a lifetime where they were, maybe Versace was the king of like
Versace definitely thinks he's the king, I'm thinking,
so maybe
like,
he carries that personality. I've done readings with animals who are just like, I don't like being a cat. I don't want to be in this cat body. I don't know how to be a cat. And they're like, yeah, our cat does not know how to be a cat. Like, and it's like the
right.
weirdest cat ever.
Yeah, I believe that because
Yeah.
I one of my pets who passed, year and a half, almost 2 years ago, that was exactly her. I'm a people.
Mhm.
She had to have morning latte with me, and she had to have whatever it was, a crumpet or a muffin, and she just sat there and she did get her little bits. And at one point, I was so trained, I saw these little cups, at the store. I'm like, what if I should buy her a little latte cup? You know, and my bestie looks at me and goes, "What?" I'm like, I just don't believe I even said that. So I just disregard the whole like the dog needs a latte cup. And that was the end of it. You're just like, oh yeah, okay, here you go. Um,
Well, and some of that can be viewed as silly. And the other part of that is like your soul connecting to that. They are also a soul. They're also this
yes.
being that isn't greater or less than anything else.
Mhm.
So I think that's the
Yeah.
cool thing. That's what I believe is like everyone and everything has a soul, and you can view that as spirit or just a field of information, however you want to view it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything's here to serve a purpose and to be on, even the way they teach us things sometimes are it's so uncomfortable and annoying,
Mhm.
but and they're being naughty or they're ripping their couch, but there's like something they are doing to teach you that.
I know. It's like you are not listening. So Wayne makes a comment. This is about the little chocolate dog I was just talking about. It's like, yo, I'm on the floor with the dogs. It's like you just did not. I'm not supposed to be here. And it was always like that. But I understand. It's like they reach out, and it's like we're the ones that aren't getting it, right? So I want to go back to a comment before we get
Yes.
too far, because it started a while back. She goes, I have reading down with my fur baby. Melissa actually does a lot of fostering for pets.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, she said it was so insightful, pegged my guy so accurately. My puppy mill rescue told her to tell me thank you for making her happy. Waterworks. Yes, exactly. And Trish actually had a really, I'm just trying to find her comment before we get too far ahead here.
Sure.
Trish, yes, Chihuahuas definitely do have a superiority complex. Animals, physical. I am totally lost that comment altogether. But it was definitely something on spirits and souls. Here we go. Perfect. I know animals have souls, but many have said they are all human. Question mark. People that are animals in the next life, etc. Have you ever heard that in your travels? I'll leave it up for you. In your communication.
That they can switch back and forth?
Well, I know animals have souls, but many have said, I guess many souls or many animals have said that they were all human. So people that are animals in the next life, etc. Question mark.
So this little guy right here, actually, he's a Chihuahua, but this is him all the time. Like anytime anyone meets him, because I've been working with him his whole life, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you have the most chilled out Chihuahua."
Yeah, right.
Unless you ring my doorbell, and then it's like,
that's that. They can't help that.
full blown, yeah. Or hear a doorbell on TV or something, right? It's crazy.
Exactly.
So I can only share from my understanding, which is so this guy was a human before.
Right.
So you can be a human, and some of the teachings are that you become an animal to learn a very specific lesson, something that was very unpleasant that you did. So if you made a very big mistake, you could become an animal in the next lifetime. That's one teaching.
So it's like punishment to come back to this life and be
think
pampered.
of it as a punishment. You
Right.
could, and you could also think of it as an opportunity to be in that unconditional service and like kind of earn your way back. Because
Right.
I mean, if you're a domesticated dog,
Yeah, you'd be
it
okay.
depends on who you get, right?
Right.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
really have an
Bad
opportunity.
situations.
Yeah, you don't have to hunt. You don't have to kill anything.
Mhm.
You don't have to try to survive. Like I said, the
Right.
ones who are well taken care of, right? Or they find their way to the person who's supposed to take care of them. So I think this is where some of those agreements come in, where like, people who like raise your hand out there if you just like knew that was the animal that needed to be with you. You just felt it. You just knew it.
Yeah.
And this is you recognizing that soul or that agreement you've made. I mean, souls recognize each other. Have you ever met someone and just like you were best friends with them within like 3 minutes and you're like, wait, what's your name again? I love
Yes. Exactly. It's like, wait a
Or
minute.
the opposite, right? You get a weird feeling about someone off the bat and you're like, I
Yeah.
feel so bad. I don't even know that person. And I'm like totally judging them or whatever.
Right.
So, our souls can recognize each other and recognize frequency and vibration, and we have soul memories that we've shared, right? So that can come
Yeah.
into our field. That information can be retrieved when we connect to a certain soul that we have those memories with.
Mhm.
So lots of times animal companions have been your husband, your sister, your brother, your wife, your best friend.
Right. Well, your soul circles, yes, but you're saying there's anybody in your soul circle can come back as your pet as well, or
Yeah, so that's my understanding of it is, so it could be that you're a new soul and you're working your way into a different, into the free will of a human, or which can be an opportunity of amazing amounts of service. Like we can serve in such great ways. We can be in our empowerment
Mhm.
right, in a different way because we have free will. We can also go the other way, but
Yeah.
you know, if you're a domesticated animal who's treated well, like obviously your dogs who you're buying coffee like little latte cups for,
That's terrible. I know. Yes.
it's like you
Yes.
honoring them. I know it can get a bit ridiculous with the consumerism, but I mean, all of us do. We do that for everything. So
It's true, but especially the chi-chis.
yeah, you just want to take care of them. So
It's
I don't know.
true.
Does that answer that question?
I think so, absolutely.
Yeah. So you could
Um,
have been an animal. You could have memories of having been an
it's like,
animal.
I don't wanna be on TV. Leave me alone. Yeah, I'm done. Um, Kansas, have you ever had experiences with animals in nature?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you wanna talk about that a little bit?
Sure. You know, I got the opportunity to live in the national forest in Australia for a
Oh,
while.
very nice. Yeah, very
And
nice.
I was just in pure heaven. I had like
Aw.
wallabies in my front yard, and I had like king parrots landing on me, and
As an
live
ex-parrot
birds.
owner, I know that's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes, it
And they
is.
were wild. Yeah. And have you heard of a
Mhm.
lyrebird before?
Yes.
So I saw many, many lyrebirds, which I guess is a little bit rare, but they're like the spiritual channels of the animal world. Like they can sound
Wow.
like anything,
Mhm.
and they're date back to like 3 million years or something in Australia. Obviously,
Oh, wow.
birds. Birds are like
Wow.
the dinosaurs, right? They are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Um, so I got to spend a lot of time with them, and just I would just receive their wisdom and love, and just ask if I could talk to them.
Oh,
And I had a lot of conversations with a wallaby, a particular wallaby in the forest, and I had a kookaburra. Do you know what kookaburras
I
are?
do. They're amazing. I know. They're
And they
great.
sound like wild monkeys when they're
I know,
laughing.
but they're great.
It would just be the whole forest, which is, and I would fall the floor
So you're
laughing
like
every
Snow
time.
White, essentially, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, without
Hey, if
the
the shoe fits.
I
Right.
did. I lived in this like tiny little cabin that used to be the first post office in the forest.
Wow.
And the echidnas. I had this one kookaburra who used to come and sit on this like kind of cool little structure that was in my garden, and we used to sit every morning and meditate together at like 5 in the morning. Um, I
That's hilarious. The bird would sit there and communicate with you.
Yeah, we would just sit and
That's
communicate and
amazing.
meditate, and I could hear him chanting and
Oh god,
telling
that's
me
amazing.
stuff.
You look
I'm
at
so
one, you
glad you're
never know if
asking me
you do
this.
that.
I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about that part.
Yeah.
And have you heard of an echidna?
No, I've not. No.
Yeah, I had this magical moment with an echidna in the forest.
And what is an echidna
Mm.
exactly? For
I
those of
wish we
us who
could
have
pull up a
absolutely
picture.
no idea. Is it a bird? Is it like a fur face? Is it
No, it's kind of like a hedgehoggy armadillo-y thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
It's ECHINDA if anyone wants to look it up.
Okay.
And they're very like they bury their heads when they hear something.
Oh.
So I had to just like sit really quietly, and then he came out and he like I had never seen one before. I didn't know what it was. I was like, wow. I spent a
Right.
lot of time also connecting to the whales. Yeah, I lived in
Whales
Hawaii for a
are,
while.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if I couldn't see them, I would just sit in the ocean and connect
Mhm.
to them and receive. I mean, they're like our ancestors, right? In that area of Hawaii, which some say was Lumeria. There's
Mhm.
so much to access there. And the
Mhm.
other animal that I stole my heart in Hawaii that I used to just literally just sit on the beach with for hours is the sea turtles.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so ancient, some of them, right? Like the stories that they must
Yeah. Well,
share.
their journey is just unreal. Like I wouldn't make it. There's no way. And
Right.
one time I was sitting there, it was my birthday actually, and I was sitting there, and it was right after the babies had made it back, and there was these big waves, and you could just see all the baby turtles in the waves. And
Yeah.
I was like, I could sit here for days, and I just sat there and just could hear them. I
Aw.
They were like kids. They were like, yay, you know, they were just having so much
Yeah.
fun and just,
Yeah, I think that's something that people, we don't envision that we can have that kind of a connection. We look at them as things. We look at animals as your pet. There's a wolf. There's, we fear them, or there's a big, big bear. We fear them, or oh, there's a whale, beautiful. Could take you down to the depths of the drown you. Like people just have like these mundane, horrific sort of visions of what certain animals are supposed to be or what they represent. Too much media, I think. But I think that when just the comment that you made with the little turtles being like children, there's no way. If anybody else said to me, oh no, this is what it is, I'd be kind of like going, okay, that's just not a normal thing unless you actually experience it. I think it's fantastic that you can. And maybe, people can, when you see something in nature, just realize, or you see an animal, that no, this could have been somebody in your soul circle, or this could have been somebody, could have been a person. Because when you look in an animal's eyes, there's nothing worse than somebody saying to me they're not sentient beings. When you look into the eyes of an animal, you'd have to be, and I know go ahead, send the hate mail. But I think you'd have to be completely numb of your own existence to not realize that they are definitely sentient. They hurt, they're happy, they get excited. It drives me crazy when people tell me they're not sentient.
it's just something I can't wrap my head around. But I think that there are a lot of numb. I think part of humanity is numb like that. And I think the more that each of us believes in the ability to connect and takes time to connect and follows this, I'll be very honest with everyone. This was not an easy thing for me to follow in my path.
Right.
I was like, people are going to think I'm nuts. I've let all of that go. I don't care at all anymore. But because the experiences that I've had with people and the way that I've seen it change their life and the stuff that comes forward, that there is, if I was going to try to scam something, this would be the biggest waste of my time. There's a million easier ways to do that.
And without working your credibility to the ground.
Without, meditating for hours upon hours upon hours to just purify myself so that I can be the purest messenger of them, without like really believing in myself and this ability and really going and trying it. Because honestly, if it wasn't for my dog, I probably wouldn't have, because it wasn't what my mind wanted to do. I was like, and now it's the most amazing thing. And I really believe that, there's a beauty. Everybody can have a connection. The thing that I was really connecting with when you were sharing was, about them being sentient beings. And also, yes, they could have been one of your ancestors, or they could have been your mother in a past life, or they could have been part of your soul family. But also imagine the wisdom that they carry, the soul of an owl, the soul of a worm, an earthworm. I mean, that is like,
people don't get that.
There's nothing else for that worm to do but be in service of the earth, like zero. Yeah. What else would it do?
Right.
So to be in that, to have experienced that, if you connect to the soul, meaning the information and the message that being is carrying in that service, how close to the source could that be? Whatever that means to you.
No, exactly. I agree.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. So when, I have fear that comes up, I have a specific animal that I have fear that comes up for me. And I know that that's because I probably created that fear for others or for that animal. Maybe I hunted that animal in a past lifetime. So I'm trying to work on that, to purify that, to release that, so that I can actually serve that animal if I come in contact with them. Because I just keep seeing this vision, and y'all, I mean, this is kind of another thing, and it's okay for anyone to think whatever they're going to think about.
You're among friends. Don't worry
It's all
about it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
But there could be a time where we're all going to be together. And it's going to be important to be able to connect and bring that harmony and not be afraid and not.
Yeah.
You can't just kill all the animals that come into your space.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
the way that's happening now. And I'm not saying anything, it's just the vision that who knows when this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's probably even scripture and stuff that's written about this, but I just receive information through my channels. So anyway, I just feel like I really feel like it's my job for myself to really do the greatest job that I can to try to connect. And I love helping other people do that too, because I think everyone can. And some of the techniques that I learned along the way that were kind of shortcuts, but actually create safety in connecting to things.
Right.
Actually doing it in a safe and grounded, good way is just really allowing that soul connection to happen. Just saying hello, just bringing in that connection and starting to just communicate on the soul level to things. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just reading this comment, I wonder.
Oh, yeah. I'll read it out for those who are not on video, who are just on audio. Ken says, I wonder how many people like me have never spoke of our experiences. Well, I think it goes back to what Catherine was saying. You sort of sit there and think to yourself, people are just going to think I'm nuts.
Or am I nuts?
I know. Maybe it's a good kind of nuts. I don't know.
We can doubt ourselves, right?
Yeah. Kathleen, any suggestions for calling in a missing cat?
Yes.
There we go. Kathleen.
Ready? What's the cat's name?
What's your cat's name? Go ahead. Just pop it in chat. Oh my gosh.
So can I share one thing about a question I saw a little while ago?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how am I connecting?
Yes, that was Amelia.
Yeah. So I am connecting on that level of soul. So however you want to connect to that heart and soul. So it's really have you ever had someone call you and you were just thinking of them? Or you call someone, they're like, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
Out of all the moments and all the time and all the people and all the world.
Right.
You call right when they were thinking about you. Or you run into them. So there is this connection and communication that we share that we don't always acknowledge or can debunk very easily, but is very real. And I think our animals show us this, right?
Absolutely.
They show us that is a real connection. So that's the way that I'm connecting to them, connecting to their soul, their frequency and vibration. And then I use my spiritual channels to receive either images, they give me a knowing, they show me words, I hear words. And then sometimes they actually like to use my voice and that's more of the channeling to really share their wisdom and guidance. And, if I don't know what your flow is, but if we have time to deliver a live message, I think for people to experience it.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Good stuff is. Yeah.
Always time for that. Henry Morgan, because I love that name. Kathleen, you would call him Henry Morgan. That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So Henry Morgan, I'm assuming, is the kitty that's missing. So what would be your advice to get Henry Morgan home?
So the first thing I would do is do what we were sharing about, which is connecting on the soul level. And Kathleen, if you want to follow along with us, and we can all do it. So I can guide you through a little practice that we can do. There's kind of several things that can help. Basically, what we want to do is we want to clear the path for him to come home. And part of that is staying in that hope, staying in that love, staying in that connection so that Henry Morgan can feel that and be communicated. Yes, there's space for you to come home. Please come home. So releasing any guilt or whatever surrounded. Of course, I haven't talked to Kathleen, so I don't know what's going on with it, but we can still do this. There's a couple techniques and I'll kind of talk you through it. The other thing is I do a lot of private sessions for this too, which is really when we can dive deep into it. And sometimes they even show me where they are.
Wow.
I had a man who was talking to me about their dog who had special needs and had been missing, and she needed medication. It really was not a good situation. And he reached out to me kind of as a last ditch effort. And then I just said, is there a vineyard near you? And he goes, yeah, I own 2 vineyards. And I said, okay, it's the furthest one away. That's where she is. And he was like, that's so far away. There's no way that she's there. And then he went there and she was there. And so, I mean, sometimes they communicate really clearly, and sometimes it takes a minute. Okay, so Henry Morgan.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so everyone, we're gonna all use our collective power to connect to the cat. All right, so first we want to bring in our connection. So whatever that means, whether it's the universe, divine, it's whatever it is for you is absolutely completely perfect. So I would
yeah, she goes, he's been wanting to explore outside for quite a while. I created a space for him on the deck. I think it created a desire to explore further.
Yeah, and we can do a communication with him, Kathleen, if you want to, and see what he has to say. And if he gives any helpful tips on where to look for him or what he's doing. Sometimes they're just off doing what they need to do for their journey and come back. So let's take a moment. I'm going to do like a mudra, body power. I'm going to put one hand on my heart, one hand on my lower abdomen, and anyone can follow along and practice if you want to.
Okay.
I'm going to close my eyes and just connect to that light, that universal light, that source light. And just bring that connection. If you have any guides or angels, you can connect to that. And now we're going to ask Kathleen to connect to the love she has for Henry Morgan. And we can all connect to Henry Morgan and send love just by sending love to the name. I could feel it already very strongly. So now we're going to say hello, and we're going to intentionally make this connection on the soul level. And it's going to seem way too easy, but practice it, try it with just beings of light, right? And your pets and stuff like that. So we're just going to say, you can repeat after me if you're comfortable, and you can repeat in your heart if you want to silently. Dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of Henry Morgan, Kathleen's cat. I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please connect heart to heart, soul to soul. Feel my love and my gratitude. And please come forward for this soul communication. Thank you. And now, Kathleen, you can tell him whatever you want to tell him. And I'm getting actually to do a forgiveness practice, which might sound kind of funny. But what a forgiveness practice can do is it can self-clear, right? So if there's any negative information involved in their connection, meaning guilt, I'm not saying you need to be guilty, just sometimes that's the most common one. And I'm getting that there might be a little, right? Like maybe I shouldn't have made him that area, and now he's gone, and maybe I created this.
Or maybe if it's from him, maybe I shouldn't have left the little area. Maybe I'm in trouble.
We're going to have him on the soul level. Just bear with me if this is too out there for you.
No.
We're going to have him on the soul level also follow along with us, so it can clear. Whatever could be blocking him from returning, or, if there is. So we're going to do a little forgiveness practice. And usually this will bring that peace to our heart and also to him, right? And then sometimes we will receive clarity around like, oh, I should look here. I should go here. And also what it does is it strengthens that connection, right? Once we lift and raise the vibration of the connection, then we don't have all that interference.
Okay.
And then the connection can be stronger. Okay. So we'll just say, Dear Henry Morgan, we can all do forgiveness with Henry Morgan.
There we go.
We'll uplift.
Okay, let's do it. Henry
So,
Morgan, are you listening?
Yeah. Dear Henry Morgan, so he's already here. Please repeat after us and follow along in this practice so that you can also receive the benefits from at your own free will. Thank you, Henry. Okay, so we can only ask for them to do that. So,
Okay.
Dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of Henry Morgan, and all souls whom my ancestors and I may have created or shared any negative information, energy, or matter with in any way, in any lifetime, including in any way related to the adventures of Henry Morgan and him separating himself from his home with Kathleen. We deeply and deeply apologize. Please forgive us for any time we did not offer you unconditional love or the love you needed. Thank you. And I offer you forgiveness, right? Because it's upsetting when they run away. It creates negativity, you know. So I forgive you, Henry Morgan, and all souls who have created any negative information, energy, or matter for me in this way and in any way in any lifetime. You owe me nothing. I forgive you unconditionally. And sometimes we just have to do our best at that part.
Yeah.
And then I forgive myself. Kathleen, this is important.
Right.
I forgive myself. I forgive myself for any mistake that I've ever made in any lifetime, including related to Henry Morgan. I know that in order to grow and learn, I have to make mistakes, and I forgive myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgive you, and just send beautiful light from your heart out to Henry Morgan and just visualize him receiving this light. You forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you. You forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. So take a moment to just breathe in that forgiveness, that love. And then just like let it go of the negativity. I forgive you. You forgive me. Bring love, peace, and harmony. So we just did that for a moment. Michelle, did you experience anything?
Yeah, I've been watching the comments while you're doing that.
Oh,
So it went
the
quiet. There's a
space.
couple of comments, which means that, you know, people are paying attention. So that's what I want to see.
Great.
So yeah,
So
no,
you
I can
can-
definitely connect to that light, to that energy though, for sure. I don't really think he's that far.
No, I mean, we can connect to him and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I see
Amelia
he's
says
just like kind of having a good time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Amelia I feel connected for sure. Yeah.
So I do this live practice on my YouTube every Friday, and I have lots of catalogs or archives of it. So if that's, you know, it's for, you can do it for all different things, health conditions, relationships, and it can really help our animal companions. So if anyone wants to explore that a little deeper with me, you can check out one of those videos.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, people are definitely doing it along with you as our walkway or path.
People are getting information.
Yeah, body of water, river, stream, tall grass and trees near your home. Kathleen, that is for you. And she goes, yes, she does feel like he's close as well. Playing with the squirrels. Yes, very possibly. I'm chasing one. No. So yeah, I love it.
I do keep seeing him in a tree.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Go check the trees. Yeah, they get up there. They don't necessarily know how to get down. Right?
So Kathleen, would you be okay with us doing a communication? I just have to have permission.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I definitely think she probably would. Knowing Kathleen the way we know Kathleen.
Oh, Kathleen.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do is,
Sure,
there's
she
lots.
says.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
There's
there we go.
lots of tools out there. I'll just share my go-to as an animal communicator and someone who works regularly with animals. We know that animals communicate through frequency and vibration,
Yes,
right? In their
absolutely.
senses. Yeah,
Yes.
this is how they know everything.
Yeah,
Better than we
absolutely. I agree with you 100%. More in tune than most people.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And this is something we can learn simply by sitting and receiving their love also, which is often what their message is. It's like, just take time. We're so busy feeding them and doing this. It's like, just take time to receive my love. But one thing you can do is there's a song, and I know there's lots of tools out there, but this is my go-to. It's called Love, Peace, Harmony. And the artist is Dr. and Master Shah, S-H-A. And it is amazing, and it carries that source frequency and vibration of love, forgiveness, compassion, and light. I would say play it. You can turn it down, even play it very softly in your home. It's just for the frequency. So it's like a beacon of of positive frequency and vibration. I would play that also because I had a friend, I told her to play it, and then she's like, there's 10 cats sitting on my lawn.
Oh, boy. You have to put a sign out there.
So-
Come get your cats. Yeah.
So sometimes that can be like a calling also to them. So you can download that song. It's a free song for humanity. It's on YouTube. It's at lovepeaceharmony.org. So I would recommend, I got that message to share that with you. So I would recommend that as well.
Excellent.
So let's
Excellent.
connect to Henry and we'll see how, so he might use my voice just to let everybody know if that happens.
That's okay.
And he might also just share information however he wants. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to take a moment to connect very deeply and get out of the way.
Absolutely. Yep. We're just sitting here. All couple million people are watching you do that.
Cool. And you can help me if you want to by
There you go.
closing your eyes.
Let's get all that vibration and
I
frequency
know Michelle's
going.
got things to do, but
Yeah.
anyone who's in a space where you can just take a moment to close your eyes, that helps. That will probably be so powerful with so many people watching.
There we go. Love it.
So I'm going to connect.
Mhm.
And I'll say the word how, which means perfect when I'm going to share the message. Dearest ones, this is the soul of Henry Morgan. There is really no reason to worry. I am out having a good time. I will come home very soon. But thank you for connecting to me and reminding me that my home is waiting for me. So I'm getting that, that was a good for us to connect and remind him, or there could have been some danger or something down the path, but it's okay. He's connected. I'm not getting that he's in any danger.
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing me the number 3. So Kathleen, I don't know if that means anything to you.
Yeah, just pop it up and chat if it does.
Yeah, if it does. And do you have other animals also? Because he says, I know the others are waiting for me.
Yes, she does.
You do, okay.
Yes, she does. Absolutely.
And he's sorry for
looking-
any stress that it's created. 3
he's
hours.
gone 3 hours. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's very fresh. Yeah, he's not very far. But he's not really used to being where he is. So there is a little emotional imbalance that we can help him with, Kathleen, if you are open to it, I could offer him a blessing. That's the message I got.
Amelia, can we
Yeah.
ask him to come home?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were doing when we said the say hello. So I might have left that part out, but I told her to just say what she wanted to say. You could say, please come home. We're waiting for you. Come home when it's the most appropriate time for you to come home. I feel like he's just kind of playing around. I don't get the message that sometimes animals have a specific mission that they need to go connect to something or someone or connect to people, or like they have a job, which is why they went.
Mhm.
It's part of like what they're doing.
Right.
I'm not really getting that sense. I think he's just having a good time.
Good time. Yeah. He's just putting his mama on edge a little bit.
I know. So there's some
Yeah.
there is some availability for some deeper healing and clearing and letting go of that. And that's why the forgiveness was guided. So we say, please come home. So dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of Henry Michael, or
Henry
Henry
Morgan.
Morgan. Sorry.
Yep.
We love you.
I love that
Does
name.
anyone have a Henry Michael? There might be
I
another.
know.
Please, we humbly ask you to please return home as soon as possible. Please feel Kathleen's love and light. Please connect to, dear, all of the elements and the elementals and the guardians and the guides connected to Henry Morgan, connected to the land where he is. Please help him. Please guide him home. Please help him to recognize where he is. Yeah, if you want to put some food out, you might have already done that. Just anything to help his, his earthliness to also connect.
Yeah,
I did see a saint come right at the beginning when we connected with him. And I've never seen this saint before, so I don't really. Oh, I just heard. I haven't seen him in this form. It's Saint Francis of Assisi
okay.
came
Yeah.
to guide him. So he's with him now. So us connecting to him brought him in to connect with him. He says, I'll
Perfect.
help protect him. Is he a baby? He keeps saying he's like a baby.
There's the Kathleen. I feel he's still playing,
Yeah.
but it's getting cold and dark now. So I'm feeling
Yeah.
like he's hearing us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Patron
Well, let's
saint
give
of
him a
animals
blessing.
is, Assisi is
Yeah.
patron saint of animals. That's right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Lost the
So
feed.
he came in and he's helping.
Oh, I'm back. Back in. Come
Please
home, Henry.
Henry. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There we go. Kathleen's very sweet. Teaches very innocent. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There is so that's what I'm experiencing is exactly what you're sharing. He's just innocently out there, not really meaning to
Yeah. What? You're all worried? Why?
yeah, but he did
know.
deeply, I could feel the sincerity in his heart saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was worrying anyone. So
Yeah.
this is what bringing that soul connection in intentionally like that can create is that like awareness, because we don't always know until we know, right? So especially if he's so innocent. So let me just check. So I can offer a blessing just to clear any interference that's keeping him from coming home as soon as possible. I heard in the next 2 hours potentially.
Okay.
So
There you go.
it's a good sign. Yeah. But I don't think he's really in any. I'm not getting that he's in danger. So that's good.
That's excellent. Well, thank you, Kathleen. You'll have to keep us posted and see if he comes wandering in. This seems like, the child that stays out too long after dark and it's like, come on. That was
So
me.
are you okay if I do a live blessing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. If you need a Kathleen to respond, we'll just wait.
No. She did. She responded.
Yes, absolutely.
Remember? She said yes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just checking with you because this is your show.
Oh, no. It's always about the guests. So yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, by the way, for allowing me to come on and connect
it's a pleasure.
everybody.
And Amelia apologizes for not being here, but you're sick.
Okay.
I think we can let it go, Amelia.
Amelia, you're here.
Yeah. There we go. And Kathleen says, thank you so very much. She goes, I don't feel fearful anymore. So yes,
Perfect.
please do the blessing. Amelia says, let's hope he doesn't bring you a gift as an apology. That squirrel you were talking about. Okay, there we go.
Well,
So
and if he does, we just accept that as his nature and do forgiveness with whatever he has brought
right.
home with you to help him clear that
That's it.
negativity as well.
That's
Okay,
it.
so everybody can close your eyes, and I'm going to sing a little soul song, which is just going to sound like some noises that help facilitate the frequency of the blessing. So what this is when I say blessing is I have a transmission. It's called Tao Hands. Some people might have heard of it before. But it actually will just turn on and it will release the source frequency and vibration of love, forgiveness, compassion, and light, which will raise the frequency and vibration of the field around him, within him, between them, which will release whatever negative information, energy, or matter could be blocking him from coming home as soon as possible.
Okay.
And it will uplift that field and that connection. And so that's kind of how it works.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like releasing the negative information. Yeah,
There we go. He makes friends with squirrels and birds. So
yeah. I wasn't
no
seeing
harm
him.
in bringing one home.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing that, but
Okay.
He might bring home a friend like a pet squirrel.
There we go, Kathleen. Get ready.
Okay, so what you can do, Kathleen, I'm also going to offer you a blessing to help you relax and be grounded and be in trust is what I'm hearing. So this will be a good experience for you. So once you go through this, he comes home, you can trust and receive the gift of the experience. Okay. So close your eyes, and everybody, you can close your eyes because what happens is you might receive the splash because the transmission is going to go out to Kathleen and also to Henry Morgan, but you might also experience it. Many connected people are online with us right now. So just feel and experience and watch if you have spiritual eye open or your mind's eye, and just allow yourself to experience it as well. Okay, so close your eyes. It's helpful for me. So to transform any negative information, energy, or matter related to him coming home as soon as possible to Kathleen, blessing starts. Hi-yo, ya, hi-yo. Hi-yo, hi-yo. Hi-yo, hi-yo. Blessing continues silently. How just means perfect, get well. Oh, that was powerful for me. I don't know if anyone else experienced anything.
Chime in, people.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear what the vibes were.
Yeah, there we go. Tina also says, oh, hold on. Kathleen says, it felt like such a wonderful coincidence that I opened up your show just after coming in from looking for him. So this is good. Thank you. Very powerful. Thank you there. And Tina says, keep calling. So this is excellent. Well, you'll have to keep us posted as we go along. And if anybody else is still connected, please feel free to put your comments up. Absolutely. So I love it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to just do a very quick station ID before we delve a little bit further.
Sure.
So for those who are just tuning in, you are listening to The Outer Realm with myself, Michelle Desrochers, and Amelia Pisano, minus Amelia Pisano tonight. And our guest tonight is Katherine O'Shea, and she's discussing connecting with animals and not just pets, but wild animals, and doing a communication for Henry Morgan, who is MIA from his mama, and that's not good. So let's get him home, and we are on the United Public Radio Network. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers. I feel like a game show host. Folgers Coffee. Thank you, Folgers. Thank you, Dr. Snick, for the intro and the outro. And for those who are just tuning in, you're missing a lot of fun. So get yourselves into the chat room. We are, of course, on all of the usual chats, which fall under of course, Michelle Desrochers, Outer Realm. We are that's for YouTube. The Outer Realm with myself and Amelia on Facebook. We've got News on the Flip Side, UFO Paranormal, United Public Radio, Canada's Most Haunted, and we've got Joe Montaldo, UFO Undercover, and of course on YouTube. Don't forget again UFO Paranormal Radio. So there's a lot of people chiming in between the different chats. We see all 8 chats come up, by the way. And for those on Twitter, we are there too. So just go on to United Public Radio, find us there. Wayne says, thank you. The white Chi-Chi stopped looking around and just listened. Yeah, she's a bit anxious today. That's one of my little brats.
And that's the frequency and vibration that the sound carries that will like stop them in their
Oh yeah, you're just like, wow, what's going on? Yeah, it's been sketchy all day. I have absolutely no, I haven't been here. Think, oh, maybe it's just my presence. No, apparently not. She continued on when I got home, so had nothing to do with missing me. So,
well, you could play that song for her and see if it helps her.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just play it over and over. So, well, thank you for that. Fingers crossed that it works out. So you offer, we proved the website. I did put the website up on.
Cool.
Oh, he heard me. She said, "Oh, did he come home?" Sang the song outside, and he heard me. Okay, well, let's just hope that there's some more good news coming up with that one. So you do offer readings, and you communicate, and you can connect to the Akashic records with Akashic. Did I say that right? I don't know why I'm tongue tied tonight.
I don't know. You could say it however you want, Michelle.
No, I'm really tongue tied tonight. So what does that do when you can connect to that? For those who are not familiar with that, what does that do? For me, that shows, well, that's our plan. That's what we have planned out for ourselves, our path. But for those who aren't familiar, how would you explain it, especially pertaining to animals?
Well, how I would explain it is in the simplest way is, so it's called your Akashic record. That's just a way that they say it. Yeah. And it's in the halls of Akasha. So what I've seen in my third eye is literally like this giant, amazing temple building library situation with all these books, right? Mm-hmm. So it's basically the recording of everything,
right,
in all your soul's life. So it's like the record of services, the thoughts, the words you spoke, the actions you did, the people you met, the relationships you had, right? It's the positive and the things that create learning opportunities for us.
Right.
And so that's how I experience it. The way that I utilize or serve with it is, I have a level of access to it. So it can depend on who I'm connecting to or where I'm at in my, how I'm, where I'm at in my purification or in whatever, depends on what access I'm given. And so I just ask for it. I went through a deep process that took years to actually, and I studied with a specific teacher that I had to be approved to actually it took me years. It's like, oh, the
Wow.
course was over. And then I had
Yeah.
to do more spiritual purification because I wasn't ready to receive it yet.
Right.
So I just say that because, not to pat my own back, just to say I honor this very deeply for me. And I know that other people also have access to this. So how I use it is sometimes it's only for good, and it's only to help us be in alignment and service and receive information that'll be helpful to us.
Mhm.
So sometimes learning about your past lifetimes with one of your pets, or learning about why the root cause of this fear, where it comes from, where it's connected. And
Mhm.
it's not to grab onto the story of it, which sometimes that happens. And sometimes I'm guided, I get the information and I can't share it because the person might grab onto that. So I just like kind of gently introduce the idea of something like that.
Mhm.
So I can still serve with that information, because we don't want to get stuck in that message and information. We want to be able, it's coming up for us to heal and transform it and move past it.
Right. Yes.
So,
Yes.
but like it can be really helpful to learn those things. And it's amazing. It's almost like sometimes your body can remember and can release things. And it also
Mhm.
can just be really fun to learn about, like, oh, like, this is why you just were so good at drawing without even trying. Do you know those people who are like so good at things, and you're like, how are you that good at that?
Right.
How long have you
Right.
been singing? Oh, for 2 months. And you're like,
I
what?
was like, no.
Because in a
Yeah.
past lifetime,
Yeah.
they have learned, they have that skill in their
Yeah.
vibrational field. Their soul is carrying that potential. So when
Right.
you open it up, so it's kind of cool to discover also, like the reading I had, that my potential was to communicate with the animals. Otherwise I might not have really tried so hard
Right.
to like open myself up to that, because I wasn't really that open to it.
Mhm.
But once I did open to it, right, it resonated very deeply. So there was something blocking me from connecting to that. And sometimes that can be helpful to access the Akashic records. It's helpful within relationships. And it's just really cool to do with the animals, because it helps you learn, like, what are you here to do together? Like, why are you together? What are you here to learn, to teach,
Mhm.
to have a good time? Like, what can you work out that you might not know about?
Mhm.
Like,
A good way to build your relationship with your, let's say, your pet. Like I said,
yeah,
like for me, it was eye-opening, like for our whole family at the time, to figure out what their little personalities were like, what their journeys were all about, and how we fit into all of it.
yeah. I'm so glad you got that. Isn't it so cool?
It was
Yeah.
really cool because, like I say, you end up with, um, with these little rescues, like they haven't been with you their whole lives. You get an animal, let's say, I'll say a kitten or a dog. You get them as a pup or a kitten. You help mold that personality. You're a part of it. You understand each other. Like I've been so deeply
Sometimes.
connected to. Yeah, sometimes, I have to say though, my chocolate, who I had from really tiny on, we were extremely connected, and I didn't have never had a connection like that with another animal. But I also feel that a big part of it came because I was gifted with that reading, and I was able to connect with her and know what she was all about. So that assisted in building that relationship.
Mm,
Now it's just sort of like dog looks at me like, what? I don't know what you want. Let me just look at you for a while. Look into my eyes. Let me hypnotize you. It's just like, so it's a quite different kind of a relationship. But I definitely feel that it would be beneficial to anybody who really wants to connect with their fur babies on that level. You learn so much
yeah,
about them.
it's so amazing. And the feedback that is consistently coming is like, well, one, you just don't really know what to expect, what can actually come out. It's
That's
like,
true.
wow.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I had this lady the other day, she's like, this is like my soulmate dog, and I never thought I could feel closer to them, but I
Yeah.
do. And
Right.
so it's just like,
That's true.
it's really amazing. And I think it's right, because I think things like that, like you experience, it changes your whole life, actually.
It does. I mean, you have to look at them. I often hear people say, well, like this is like my baby. And absolutely, like we love our pets, and I just love animals, and I love the planet, and I love to be out in the woods, and I just love everything about nature. But it's true, when you decide to take on that responsibility for that little being, you are literally their entire world. And if there's a way that you could find out everything you can about that personality to make it and just enrich both of your journeys, I think it's definitely something you should do.
And even as simple as, I'm sorry, forgive me, I can't remember who shared it, but just about them thanking the dog, thanking them, or who was it who commented in the beginning? Even just to hear like, thank you for taking me in, and whatever
Yeah,
can
I'm
just.
looking. It's
Then
way
she
up here.
said like, then she said waterworks or something like that. She,
Oh, that's Melissa.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
Melissa.
started
Yeah,
crying. It's and you can know it's a true message because you just feel it. And
it's true. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just trying to find it. It's way up there. But yeah, here it is. Um, Yeah, for the fur babies, it was insightful. Peg my guy so accurately. My puppy mill rescue told her to tell me thank you. She was a puppy mill rescue. Thank you for making her happy. So it is really. Oh, that was her Peanut. And that was Peanut was her name. Yeah,
aw.
she'd been. Yeah, I remember. She'd been through a lot. That poor dog, and she just, of course, with Melissa, ends up like queen of the pack for sure. But yeah, it's if there's a way of knowing, I always highly recommend, dive in and learn as much as you can, because boy, you really do look at them on a whole other level. It's not at all like a lot of people think, like look at that face. There we go. Oh, I
Let me
love
say
you,
hi to
mommy.
everybody.
Yeah, there we go. See, is a happy puppy. It's like, what? People looking at me? Just trying to make a movement. No, I'm not interested. I have
I'm
we've had
saying
so
you're
many
doing a
guests.
great job.
Oh, yeah, right. We've had a lot of people come on the show. Next thing you know, animals start coming in and they all panic. I'm like, no, 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 no. It's just let them be. It's fun. It's a good time. The animals get right in there, you know. Um, Okay, yeah, it was a treat to have discovered this on my feed. Sending you all big, big love. Holding space for Henny.
Aw,
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
thanks,
But
Tina.
yeah, so I mean, this is something obviously, like you're saying, that you can teach people you to how to connect with I guess their pets or their just animals on average. If you're already a gifted medium, it should be fairly easy, I would think, to tap in. Or is there a whole other technique?
Well, I think we all have that ability. I think some of us are closer to it than others. Some of us
Mm-hmm.
are open to it than others. And I think we're going to receive it in very different ways. So if
Right.
everybody was like focused on receiving it the way I receive it, well, that might not be the
Mhm.
way the way you receive it might be just so magnificently
E
you, you know.
everyone Yeah, everyone reads
Yeah.
differently, right?
Yeah,
So,
so I
yeah.
mean, I've met a lot of animal communicators. We all receive information differently. I did go through a process and a system to really purify. And also, I wanted to make sure I was doing it very safely for
Mhm,
myself, my own energy, my health, and
mhm,
also to deliver the highest and purest messages, right?
mhm.
So, what I've been teaching, I've been doing these courses, and I'm going to start one at the end of May. I'm really excited about. It's like the level 1 course. It's just really starting to bring in that saying hello, making that soul connection, using these techniques to help clear, like, right, to help us go deeper into trust. And it's cool to do it with other people. And, it's at like the beginning of the course, someone's not receiving any messages, they don't have any trust, they don't have any faith. And by the end of it, they're like so excited. They've never felt so connected, not just to their animal, but
Mhm.
to source, to spirit, to themselves, to the trust, to their abilities, to their gifts. And
Right.
that's when our gifts start coming out, right? Is when we're in that healed space of like trust, and there's layers to it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, the last class I taught, there was 10 people, and it's all just guided. So we go with the flow and we connect, and everything happens. And there's certain things that I teach and share to build your foundational energy, so you're not draining your organs and your everything trying to channel and
Because
receive.
it's a very physical thing. I think people don't always realize it can be very physically demanding.
Yeah, and you want to do it safely, right? So I share
Mhm.
some of the techniques that I've learned, and also just even helping us just simply connect deeper.
Mhm.
Right? Like I said, like sitting and actually receiving the love of your animal companion, or just when you see something, just allowing that space for like whatever needs to come through, rather,
Right,
which we
yeah.
don't always work in that mode, but the animals often do. This is the mode they're in all the time. So,
Yeah, let's go. Right,
yeah.
right.
And you get a private session with the classes and stuff that I do. I try to make it really personalized. I don't make them
Mhm.
huge classes, because I
Mhm.
feel like then it's really comfortable, and you can, the last class I had, every single person experienced a big shift, which I was just like so happy for them. It's a big deal to make
Mhm.
that shift, to go to not like doubt everything you think you're receiving. Most people are receiving information.
Right, right. They just have no idea.
Yeah, like I have a girlfriend who sees like it literally, like the universe like scripts her life out on like signs and license plates and all these
So
things.
she sees it everywhere,
She
basically.
sees
Yeah,
it that way, and
right.
specifically I don't. Some
Yeah,
people are more connected to numbers. Some
right.
people
Yeah,
are
that's
more,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
more
that's true.
connected to signs in a different way. These are all ways to receive information, messages,
Mhm.
wisdom, guidance. And so I think part of it is also just opening your heart to yourself and
Mhm.
allowing your nature's way of that,
Mhm.
of being in that rhythm, in that
Right.
receiving, in that connection, to step forward. So I think it's important to give some structure and some guidance, but also you really just have to be you.
Mhm. I think, yeah, I believe everybody finds their way, or it finds them realistically. Millie says, "What's the strangest request you have ever had from a pet?" That's a great question.
Oh, that is a good question.
Strange requests from the little fur folk.
Okay, I've told this story on a podcast before, but it is so cute that I have to tell it again. And so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but
Oh, no, no, that's okay. That's okay.
okay, so there was this woman who reached out to me. Her dog was fairly senior, and he was like close to transitioning and crossing the Rainbow Bridge. So she just wanted to know if there's anything she could do for him, right? Like, what does he want to experience while he's here still? What can I do for him? Is he comfortable? Is he in pain? And so he kind of went through, and of course, he gave this heart touching message that just had us both in tears,
Mhm.
and also gave a lot of information about the other dog she had and what he was going to need. And then the one request he made, which I actually hesitated to say out loud, um, because I had my own stuff. Like, I was like, what if I say this and it's so weird that she's just like,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
so I hesitated for a split second, and then I got, hello, like you asked me, you have to
Like,
say
yeah. Hello, I'm here waiting.
yes. I was like, okay. And I said,
Mm.
and I was on the phone with her, so I couldn't see her or anything. And I just said, he wants to try lemonade.
Oh,
And she burst into tears, um, because she said, I drink lemonade every single day.
oh,
And he showed me him looking up through a glass table at this glass of lemonade.
right.
And I had no idea, obviously. And I was just like, oh, wow, how special. So it sounded like a really strange request for me to share.
Lemonade. Oh, man, I wonder how that went.
But the point,
Pucker power.
he didn't want to
Right.
try it. But the point was,
The
she
connection.
loved lemonade. I mean, if you drink lemonade every
Yeah,
day, you love lemonade.
yeah. It's
Like,
his way of validating
Yeah.
right?
Well, and she loves it. So he was like, I want to share in with you what you love so much. So it was
Right.
not mostly about him needing to taste it. It was just like she offered it to
Sharing it.
him and they had
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah.
And now every time I'm sure she drinks lemonade, she thinks of
Yeah,
like
'cause I know. It's like,
how sweet
okay.
of a request that was.
I think it's great. I mean, it's like anyone that comes through will give you that one thing to validate that yes, there is that connection being made as well, right? So, because you would have not known that. Tina says, when you're communicating with animals, do you use your clairs, or like mediumship? Do
It
you
was
use
Claire's.
symbols? Clairs, your clairaudience,
Ah,
clairvoyance.
okay.
Yeah. Or is it mediumship? Do you use symbols? I'll leave it
Do
up
I
for you.
receive symbols or do
Right.
I place
Do you
symbols?
use them? Either, I would imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I I I call it my spiritual channels. So I
Guess who just got home? Thank you.
take a moment to celebrate
There we
that.
are, everybody. Hard
Good
work.
job,
Mission
everyone. We did it
accomplished.
together. Yay.
Okay, so now we'll get back to your question. Woo!
So I'm hesitating because I don't know why, but I just received the information. Um,
Right.
so
Right.
I do smell sometimes. I do
Mhm.
see. I do sense. I do hear. Um, and then I also channel it out. I don't necessarily use symbols or anything. I always check. Like I have a body pendulum that I check to make
Right.
sure that it's spiritually okay for me to be doing that.
Yeah.
Which I think is important. I forgot to check a few weeks ago. I just checked in because it was like someone I knew, and I was very, very sick. Yeah.
Wow.
It
Wow.
wasn't information I was supposed to be poking my nose in,
Right.
and I did. So
Oh.
um, I'm grateful I got to learn, and I think it was actually a pretty gentle lesson. I'm like, wow, if this is a warning, um, I'm very grateful for the warning.
Right. Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's
I
really
have a
heavy. Yeah.
system, in other words, that I use, but I don't use any symbols.
Right.
And I
You
guess the clairvoyancy, I've only just recently warmed up to the idea that I'm a medium. Like, I don't
right.
know how it
That's
comes through.
funny.
It just, yeah, it
I've
comes
had people say, "Oh, you're." I've had people throughout the years saying, "Oh, you're a medium." I'm like, "What? No, I just do things." Just
right. Or you're a psychic. And I was like, I don't
yeah, it's
really even
like,
know what that means.
yeah, you just know things, right? You just know how to
I'm
do
just,
things. It's
for me,
different for
I'm just
everyone.
I just feel like I'm just receiving information.
Right. The receiver. I think that's a great way
Yeah.
of putting it.
Yeah.
Kathleen says, "Yeah, he just came in. It was like very normal thing to do and wanting dinner. Where's my dinner?"
I
So,
was hearing that he was hungry if you put food out, he would
there
come.
we go. She also says that since she moved into this specific house that she's just moved, that she's been making friends with the crows. And I think with people get really a lot of misconceptions. They look at crows and ravens as being something very dark, where they also are messengers, right?
Yeah,
So,
they're
um,
very high level. So
yeah,
I also connect with the animals in the soul, like the animal guides too.
yeah,
I do lots of work with people's animal guides. I often see people's animal guides and I do readings and we do like full moon meditations where the
I
animal
love
guides
it.
come and give us messages. It's
Yeah,
so cool. It's like my favorite. And I paint
it's
them also.
true.
I channel them and paint them.
Yes,
Um, so I love the animal guides and I love the crows and the ravens and that whole
same,
family.
same. They're
They're
brilliant.
really amazing. And I heard right away actually that they are guiding you, Kathleen. That's one of your guides that have come into, and they're very connected to the land and the ancestry and the elementals and all of the beings that of light that could be there, that we don't see, um,
Hmm.
that are watching over the land and bringing light. I don't know where you live, but I am seeing water. I know someone mentioned that.
She does, yeah. Made friends with the bees in the yard too, no less. Way to go, Kathleen. Yeah, we go like Dr. Doolittle, another Snow
I
White.
know. Can you imagine like
Oh
sitting?
yeah,
Bees are so good to connect with. They're literal creators of like
I know
of
yeah, they
everything.
are. They are. I'm trying to find. She does say in here. I'm just looking for your comment because somebody mentioned that water, and Kathleen says yes. We're across from a river surrounded by redwood trees with tall grass everywhere. If that gives you to helps your vision there,
Yeah, I saw
Catherine.
water under the land
Yeah.
too. I
Oh,
saw
okay.
like I was seeing it long ago.
Right.
Um,
Hi,
like
Starling.
springs
Right.
under the ground. So there, I don't know how deep under the ground, but so there's a lot of guardianship going on with that in a good way with that land.
The Santa
Ooh,
Cruz
Santa Cruz.
Mountains.
Oh, cool.
There we go. Yes, yes, beautiful area. So, lots of underground water, she says. Yes. So there
Nice.
you go. Definitely. Well, he made it home safely. That's great. I love like when you do you have people who come up to you and say, "Can you connect me with my spirit animal?" Not even so much spirit guides, but people have spirit animals that they are because I think you can have guides of all different types of animals, but your spirit animal is that's like almost like that animal connection that you have of yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it can be brought forward in many ways. Like in a lot of cultures, right? It's like a lineage thing, like the Amakua
Yeah.
or the totem, or so
Yes.
I just use that language because I feel like it makes sense to everybody.
Yeah.
So I kind of see the spirit animal and the guide. They don't have to be the same. They can be different. They can be both.
Right.
But yeah, I do, and I've done a lot of readings. I love doing the spirit, and that's what I was so connected to as a child. They actually
Mm.
used to communicate to me through my stuffed animals. Like,
Oh, well, that's awesome.
everyone
Yeah.
has an animal that they just love, and it's like,
Right.
why?
Right. Right. What do you
Some
think that
people
is?
just love, I don't know. I
Yeah.
would say panda, but I think everybody loves pandas. But
Yeah.
I can give actually a really cool little example of
Yeah.
a reading
Please.
that I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this gentleman in Australia, I was doing some work with him, and his animal guide actually just came forward and showed himself to me. And so I said, okay, your animal guide is here, or your spirit animal is here. I call them heaven's animals, by the way, so that's the language I'm going to use. I just call them heaven's animals, but I'm talking about the spirit animals.
Right.
So it's
That's okay.
easier for my brain.
Yeah.
So I talked to his heaven's animal came forward. It was this beautiful white tiger, which is actually a very high level spiritual animal. Um,
Right.
really, really, really. And so I was like, wow. And I could feel the fur, and it was just so amazing. And so I did a reading, and he delivered a beautiful message. And the information I was getting is that, and this was more in a direct communication. So it's like, he just gave me a knowing, right? I just knew something that my brain doesn't know.
Hmm.
And I said, he said he's been with you in this lifetime. When you were about the age of 7, he came to be with you and
Hmm.
guide you and connect with you and nourish you and really help you through something. And I said, and did you have like a stuffed animal white tiger at that age? Because that's the information I got.
Hmm.
And he was like, wow, actually, that is the age I was when my parents divorced.
Mm.
And when I had my 2 bedrooms, and the one at my dad's, he gave me a white tiger, a stuffed white tiger. And
Wow.
so then the message that came through, right? You can only imagine
Oh
how
yeah.
deeply touching and how much healing
Hmm.
would come to that kind of moment in your life, which even if it's not traumatizing, that's just like a thing to go through, right?
Yeah.
And to know that that guide was there
Yeah.
helping you, loving you, nourishing you. And so
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful experience. If I think if you're listening, maybe
Yeah.
that's the thing right there is it's listening. A lot of people don't look at their pets as sentient to the point of being that intelligent,
And
which
your pets have spirit animals too.
I know, right? Well,
And
there you
sometimes
go.
I've seen spirit animals for the relationship. Like
Right.
your relationship with your pet could have an animal connected to it.
Right. Well,
And
that's
that is
see,
like so cool.
yeah, I never would have guessed that. My
Yeah.
God. Well, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure like one of my new chihuahuas is being like ruled by my other chocolate chihuahua because she does things that I have to turn around and go, what was that? Because she's very unique. Kathleen, Henry Morgan is asking me to trust him outside, question mark, very clearly now. He wanted an opportunity to prove to me he'd come home. He's so smart and sweet. Thank you, Catherine, for helping me open to that trust with him. I lost a Bengal that I was so connected to 5 years ago. This is a fear. I just cleared it. Awesome.
Yay.
That's
Thanks,
fantastic.
Kathleen,
There
for
you
letting us
go.
experience it.
Yeah.
Thank you for receiving that wisdom
Yeah. That's
and sharing it
wonderful.
with us.
Yeah. That is wonderful. See, like, I love this whole thing because it's like, this is like, I don't know, awakening. I guess is that the best way to put it? Like an awakening.
This is what the animals do. It's just like
Yeah,
you could be like, oh, he was naughty and he ran away. Or
it's
you'd be
true.
like, no, he brought the gift of trust and healing and letting
Yeah,
go of fear to her
right.
that she'd
That
maybe
he
been
would be
living in
lost to her
around
too.
that with for the last however many years. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's just, oh my goodness, that's just wonderful.
That's why
I
I say
love
it
that.
doesn't always feel good, but they always bring us what we need.
Look at that. Thank you for your wonderful program. I just intuitively tubed in tonight, and I love that you did. I
Yeah,
do.
your
I
soul
love it.
brought you to it. Yeah.
Absolutely. You were meant to, Kathleen. You were meant to. And Lisa says, I love dragons and have statues, figures, plush ones. I love dragons as well. Actually, I know a lot of people who love dragons. So now you're getting into like mythical beings.
Well, I don't think they're mythical.
I was gonna say some of us believe they just pop in through portals, fly around, do their thing. They're actually very, very real. And I know that there throughout history there's a lot of talk of them. It's not just symbolism. Absolutely. So what are your thoughts on something like this then as we
Well,
get ready to
Lisa, when
close
you
off?
typed that, I saw a really beautiful purple dragon. That's from like a very special realm.
There we go.
Sorry, you didn't give me permission, but I just saw it.
Yeah, there we go. No, I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Yep.
all love it. We all
Yep.
love it. Just blurt that stuff out.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got great listeners. So
I love dragons. I
Mm,
have um I don't want to say collected them because it's not like that, but I
mhm,
feel like the more I step into I
that
really
realm.
feel like one of my callings and one of the reasons I'm here is really to bring the heavens animals to Mother Earth in that way, right? By
Right.
channeling them, by painting them, by sharing them, by affirming people's connection with them, by
Right.
bringing that. When you hear a message from one of the heavens animals, which we could do if you want, it's very high vibe, like it's very beautiful. It makes me almost cry just thinking about it.
Right.
So
Right.
when the dragons come and they show themselves, so I feel like I kind of stepped forward and said, okay, I will share your message and your love and I will help connect you. Um, just tell me what to do. I feel like a lot started coming. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. And I had to kind of,
Yeah.
sometimes I forget and I have to really remember and honor that they're willing to even give me a thought
I
and
know.
allow me to share their messages and their love and to paint them. And
Mhm.
but the dragons, wow, I just love dragons. And I started seeing them a lot in meditation, like maybe 8 years ago.
Mhm.
And that's when I really started like, um,
Yeah.
I was learning different mantras and chanting different things and um, that mantras are really gatherers of light, right? That's what
Mhm.
mantras do is
Yes.
gather,
Yes.
they gather.
That's right.
And and we would be singing, like I'd be chanting. There's this chant that's called the Dabe Jo, and it's like 87 names of Buddhas, right? It's connected to the Bodhisattva of compassion, Kuan Yin.
Yes.
And so I'm around a bunch of people and we're all chanting it, and all I see is the animals.
Right. Of course.
I didn't see any of the Buddhas, and I was like, wow. And then I was like, do the Buddhas have animals? And they're like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's dragons, and lions, and,
Yeah, I love it though.
elephants, and
Yeah.
so I just, yeah, it's really dear to my heart, and I love doing meditations and receiving messages from them and sharing their message.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you don't connect to animals on Earth, I mean, when you get a message from like your spirit animal,
It's wonderful.
oh yeah, so
Yeah,
special.
it's intense.
Sometimes I do like animal meet and greets, like these animal meet and greets where people can join, and we just kind of go through and say hi to everyone and see who comes forward and see who's around everybody and,
Mm-hmm.
and what they connect to, and it's a really fun way to celebrate.
I think it gives a lot of good closure as well, connecting with your, your like spirit animals on a different level, those who have passed, knowing they're okay. Um, I think a lot of people need that sort of closure just as much as they would from a human. This is the synchronicity thing I wanted to add. Trisha is another one of our hosts here on the network, and she has
Hi,
the
Trish.
missing piece. Yeah, she's awesome. She goes, I adopted a Bengal in October. He's older, and one of the first pictures I took of him, get this, synchronicity, was in a box that has the word Henry on the side. Her grandmother's name was Kathleen.
Wow.
I know, I love it.
We are all quantumly entangled.
I know, right? There we go. There we go.
Wow.
I know. I love it. It's awesome.
That's
But
great.
we're literally a few minutes away now from ending. So it just flies. My God, the shows fly by. But this is a part of the show where you promote yourself. So I know, right? Oh God, come on. She said her grandmother's name Kathleen Ball.
What?
I'm just like, what? Okay. I love this show. You just never know what's going to come up. Yes. Okay. There we are.
That's the beauty of when you open up, though. This is the beauty of when you open up to the light and you trust.
All right. There it is.
Go for it.
I know. True story. Oh my word. This is the part of the show where you promote yourself. So
Sure.
website and your YouTube, all of this. No show, no accidents. No kidding. Maybe I adopted her cat. Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, there we go. Wow. Jesus, you never know with that. Right? Okay, we're back. Back to the guest. Chat room's on fire. My
I'm
God.
still here, enjoying the show.
Wow.
Well, I just want to thank you for having me on, and thank everybody who's listened and contributed. I know I couldn't see the chat, but I'm sure everybody contributed their magic and their abilities and their whatever was coming up from them. It's so powerful when we can join together in this way. So thank you for creating this space and allowing me to come on and share it with all of you.
Yeah.
You can connect with me. I do a lot of stuff that's complimentary, that's just for everybody to get to experience, because I've realized that a lot of people are looking for this way to connect with their animals, and they don't necessarily know where or how. So I really just have committed to just serving as many animals as I can in whatever way that I can. So you can catch me on YouTube, Soul Light Pet Services with Katherine O'Shea. I'm on there. I go live every Wednesday, and do the Pet Love Show. I go live every Friday and do Love and Forgiveness Fridays, using the power of love and forgiveness to bring healing and light and everything to our lives, and always include the pets, of course.
Right.
And
Right. And
you
I'll
can
make sure all your links are actually in the YouTube link also.
cool.
So when they go to the show, I'll put all your links in there so they
Awesome.
can tap in. And
Thank
it
you.
is on the Outer Realm page too. So sorry,
Great.
continue on.
Beautiful. And
Yes.
my website you can check out. I'm really actually very, very excited. We do have, I think, a full moon coming up. I always do full moon meditations with the animal, the
Right.
heavens animals, I call them, but they're our spirit animals, our spirit guides, our
Right.
heaven animal guides.
Yeah.
And that's always very powerful. I just launched, right? It's going to happen. And I just posted. So in May, we're going to start another round of deepening connection with your animal companion, level
Nice.
1, which is that course I was telling you
I
about,
love it. I love
where
it.
you get a bunch of stuff. And it's a really good,
Yeah.
I always try to offer it in the most affordable way I can too. And it's really, really powerful. I do private sessions all the time. You can go on there and you can book it and schedule it and join me. I've been doing a lot of stuff on Zoom with people all over the world.
Love it.
Any friends who are in Colorado near Fort Collins, I've been doing live. Now I'm going out to Wag's Pet Market and actually doing live mini readings with people, which
Oh,
is
that's awesome. I love it. I
I'm
love
also
it.
really excited to do more group stuff, parties, more, things where we can connect, all connected the same. It's really fun for friends to experience this
Yeah,
together.
I
And
agree.
I think it gives you a deeper understanding of everyone and everything.
Yeah, bring your fur friends along.
Yeah, and your fur friends, of
Yeah.
course.
Right.
You can find me on Instagram, Soul Light Pet. You can follow me on TikTok, Soul Light Pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'll make sure all of that gets connected. I do. I
So I would
will.
be so delighted to connect to anyone who wants to reach out or connect for any reason. I'm always happy to offer any service I can. And I also have guests on my show, and we do live readings and blessings and all kinds of stuff. So
Well, there you go, people. So you
this
could
group.
find her and learn a whole bunch more. So I will make sure all of that gets posted, like I said, on this link, or on
Well,
the
thank you.
YouTube will have it, and we'll put it on the Outer Realm. The website's already there. I imagine they can connect to
Cool.
everything else
Yeah.
through the website. So
Yeah. I'm
one
getting
stop
there with
shop.
my website.
Yeah.
That's not my forte at all.
No, that's okay. It's a good start for sure. But thank you for coming on. It was such a pleasure. It was a
Oh,
really
thank you so
interesting
much.
experience. We found a little fur baby, and
That was
everybody
great.
had the opportunity to see you in action. And it was just such a pleasure having you on. So thank you.
Oh,
And
thank you so much. I'm
no,
so happy to be here. I'm really grateful, and I'm so happy to know about your show.
oh wow. Thank you. Yeah, it's been around, for 2-3 years. And
Yeah, it's awesome. Lindsay, you had Lindsay on the show
yeah.
little while ago. She's the one who's like, you
Yeah.
gotta check out this show.
Oh yeah, she was so much fun. We had a blast with her. She was a lot of fun. This is how connections get made, right? And the show is it is a platform. It's a place for everybody to get together and you can see it's really laid back and everybody gets right into it. And it's just I that's what I love, connecting people. There you go. Think a great connective experience. And there we are. She goes, I'm tingling. What a magical night. Thank you. So happy.
Aw,
So much love.
yay.
See what I mean? Everybody just gets like right in on it. So keep the magic going. Go and find
I know.
Kathleen. Check out
Why
the
would
Outer
we go anywhere
Realm.
else?
I know. This is awesome. He's super tired. I bet he is. Been out just having a good time while you've been worrying. So, but thank you. And I will be in touch. I will email you after and give you all the good news as to your listenership and such.
Aw, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Good night. Such a pleasure. Well, guys, that passed on so quick. My gosh, it was just a lovely experience. She's just got such beautiful energy. But we have come to the end of another fantastic segment, literally, here on the Outer Realm. Thanks to everybody in chat. Wow, you guys have just been like awesome, just lighting it right up, a lot of interaction, a lot of questions and comments. And Kathleen, wow, so glad that Henry Morgan made it home. So you guys go check out Henry Morgan's picture on the Facebook page. So on Kathleen's Facebook page. So again, thank you to Katherine O'Shea for just being awesome on the show tonight. Big thank you to Folgers Coffee. Thank you to Dr. Snick, aka Justin Snicker. Remember to stop by our network YouTube channels, International Public Radio, UFO Paranormal, and UFO Gods and Extraterrestrial. It's a tongue tire. And subscribe. Head on over to the Outer Realm on Facebook and show us a little bit of love, and follow us there as well. If you need to contact us, it is the Outer Realm Contact at gmail.com. Outer Realm Contact, the Outer Realm Contact at gmail.com. Tune in tomorrow night as we welcome the return of Captain Paul Watson. You guys will know him from the Sea Shepherd, Whale Wars TV show. I know him more as one of our ocean guardians, and it's just such a pleasure to have him on. We had a few tech difficulties the last time he was on, so this time we're hoping that we don't. We're going to try to work with him to make sure that he gets all that ironed out. But until then, you all behave, and we will see you tomorrow evening. All right. Good night.